Listen up, cluckheads.
You're listening to Whiskey and Whine
With Rooster and
the Madman, where we talk about common sense, current events,
the Constitution,
and morals, while comparing drinks of yesteryear to drinks of today.
So sit back, relax, leave us a comment.
Here comes Whiskey and Whine. Stuff coming out from the press reports about inflation and all that, and according to the recent poll, whenever they were saying is inflation and affecting your family, 124% of people said no and 195% said yes.
That doesn't add up.
Those are the inflation numbers.
Oh,
yeah. It's kind of like if 50 Cent recently had his changed name to 64.
So if you buy groceries, do you get a nickel back?
Yeah. So I'm going to have to call Yellow Card, just say this is going to get out of hand over these jokes.
That's already going to get bad right there.
So we should get started then.
Yeah, let's get started. So, welcome back, cluckheads.
You know who we are. You
know what we do.
Current events.
Common sense.
Constitution and morals.
Morals.
It's me.
There she is.
So all while we get to sacrifice our liver and kidneys just for you.
Yes.
Because, I absolutely hate having to do this for people.
I'm in the service of others. That's all I can say.
We're giving people.
Yeah, that's it. I give to America. This is for you, America.
Yeah. That way that you know what not to buy.
Yeah.
America.
Not for you people who say America.
Yeah.
But
those people did not need to listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what did we actually get this week? Because I didn't.
Well, this was morals. This was all morals. She wanted the reign. She wanted to pick it out. So she did say that it's still a little bit in honor of the Rooster's ongoing birthday, being a rum fan. So it's Mojito.
Mojitos.
And if you remember, we tried Mojito mixes last time, or I think
I thought that we tried the margarita mixes.
It was some kind of mix. Well, this is a little bit bigger bottles, full on, just straight up mojitos. So
better brands.
Not the add to, but the actual just full
but we haven't
mojito.
done an actual mojito yet, have we?
No, I think we did the mojito flavored style stuff, but not true straight up mojitos.
Yeah, that's right. It was the non-alcoholic,
Yeah,
that's what it was.
So this is the redemption to that one.
Yeah, that one was really sweet.
Yeah, because one of them tasted like it was made with pickle juice, and the other one,
then the other one tasted like it was made with like pure cane corn syrup or something.
Yeah, it was different, but it was non-alcohol. They were mixers.
Yeah, they were just the mixers. So all right, so I guess that since this one's in front of me, this is the bottom end one.
According to Morse,
the bottom end.
Yes-ish. They were actually one shelf apart. So, pre-sale price $1 apart. But I did get the one in your hand at $13.99 a bottle and paid $15.99 a bottle for the Bacardi.
All right.
Gotcha. Well,
so I guess that would be the low end based on the money.
I know that it's been a while since we've done this, but it is not SeaWorld.
Yeah, that
friendly.
one is real glass.
It is not SeaWorld
so
friendly.
Fancy.
So let's see here. This is called Lick's Cocktail.
Thought you'd like that.
Some yellow cards coming in this joke somewhere, okay. I think.
So I found it funny that you can advertise the word cocktail and licks, but you can't separate that word and advertise it with licks.
Well, I think you can.
It's 2022.
It's America.
So it's
you can do anything you like unless it's offensive.
You know what?
Those rules change every week.
I'm offended that you think that I'm trying to be offensive.
Well, I'm offended that you think that I'm offensive, that you're offensive.
You know what? I'm just
offensive times affinity.
Oh,
yeah.
Offensive times infinity squared.
Yeah, I would love to figure out how to get there, but the new math perplexes me.
It's out. Well, it's infinity with it's It's the offended times infinity.
You know, I don't know, man.
Plus the inflation rate.
You're backing on offensiveness because I did read somewhere and heard somewhere that math is now racist.
Yes, I
Let's
read
not
that too.
Go down that road yet. That'll be in our topics.
So, Lick's Cocktail Company.
Can't even say it.
Believe it or not, this is a 21 and up show.
And we are all adults.
I'm
Can't see my air quotes on the adults, but we're old enough to buy the stuff.
We need an adult to your adult.
I even freaking laugh when somebody says duty.
Well, it's a fun word.
All right, so we're going to do this. Let's get serious with this.
Yes, serious.
Seriously.
Lick's Cocktail. Lick's Cocktail Company.
Sister Sarah likes the Lick's cocktails on. Sorry.
So this is the mojito ready to drink. It is made with real fruit juice. I guess they go out there and they squeeze the mojito tree.
Yeah.
And it's made with real mint. It is 13.9% alcohol by volume. And it says, less prep, more party. Pour over ice.
Freudian slip much?
Oh, someone's got something else going on in their mind.
Pour over ice, add a lime, party time. So
Party
we did
time.
bring some limes just because that's what it said.
Party time.
All right, so let's give this the Uncle Joe Biden snifferoo. Okay. Oh, do you think it's going to have the little pour spout?
No, I'm going to say no pour spout.
No
I'm going to say
spout.
no pour spout. No pour spout. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's give it
That's classy.
Oh, that smells good.
Doesn't smell like licking cocktails. Wow, it does smell good.
It smells like it was a very clean cocktail.
That one showers.
I can't even get you to.
It uses those dudes wipes.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Or certain bar soap from a certain Beard Bath and Body company.
I'll get to that in a minute. All right, so we're going to be
You want the limes?
we're going to be pouring these into our acid etched glasses that you can get from giftedchicken.com, home of all your beard, bath, and body needs. Veteran owned and operated right here in North Texas. And these are the USMC acid etched glasses, but they have them at all branches of the service except the Space Force. And since they're acid etched, they are dishwasher friendly.
They are dishwasher friendly.
Just like the skulls of your enemies.
That company will have to get around to it Space Force one of these days. I don't think it's going away.
All right. Gee.
Now that they're called Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever they're called now. So
Yeah, they really missed an opportunity. They should have called it Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, just
well, they are Guardians.
something.
They're called Guardians, and they got Star Trek uniforms, which is kind of lame. Mostly, I guess I'm just jealous because our uniforms are stupid. No,
They should have made them all red
green.
shirts.
Yeah. Well, no, you can't put them in red shirts. Then you're asking for problems at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's why I want them to be red shirts. I want to see the aliens come in.
Leave the communist forces versions of those in the red shirts.
Red shirts versus stormtroopers.
Yeah.
The stormtroopers miss every shot, and the red shirts still die.
Yeah. I don't know how the Empire got so big when they couldn't hit anything.
Or because they knew that they had secret orders from Vader to not kill them, they were intentionally missing.
Cool.
All right, so we got all the Lex cocktail poured and squeezed
Ready to
into the
go.
glasses.
Ready to give this Lick's cocktail a taste.
No, Rooster, talk about.
Oh, no? We're not going to. Okay. Yes, go talk about the other one. Sorry.
This is literally our show. We are on episode 61. This has never changed.
Just
How
let
do
it
you
happen.
keep breaking our own rules?
I didn't break the rule. I was just at the edge of
breaking
the
it,
rule.
yeah.
But I didn't actually go over the edge of it, so it's cool. All right, so Bacardi, the couple dollars more one. It's 175 milliliters. It is 12.5% alcohol, so a little less than the alcohol. Good news is you can take this giant family value pack to SeaWorld with you.
It is SeaWorld friendly.
Yeah. Get you some porpoise tacos and have a mojito. So it's in a plastic bottle, obviously, which is kind of sad for Bacardi. I think Bacardi's actually a really good rum. But, and so that's pretty much it. It's got the same natural fruit juices and all that stuff. It's not snazzy like, licking cocktails. It's just called Bacardi Mojito. So let's give this a.
It's Bacardi.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, do you
Sealed
need,
like Fort Knox.
Do you need some help
No,
there?
I am a man. I got it.
Next thing you know, you're going to be asking for directions.
Okay, so I know we haven't taste tested, so it's too early to tell which was to be the winner here. But this one's in a plastic bottle, and it does come with the pour spout.
That is never a good sign.
Yeah, that's always a indicative of it's gonna go wrong. Wow, it's not a bad smell though.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry, got to readjust
I like
the lock
it.
here.
There you go. And it's got this cool little like fishing net thing that goes on there. I'm assuming so you can turn those into fishnet stockings for certain ladies.
Or just use it in the dungeon.
Depends on how the party goes, you know.
Smells good though. It
smells good.
It smells stronger than.
It does. There's more rum smell in that one.
Oh, I was talking about like the mint smell. To me, the mint
No.
smell in that one was a little bit stronger.
Yeah, this smells like fresh mint.
The fresh
Minty
maker.
fresh.
Wonder what happens if we put a Mentos in it. Does it go down like Grandma Sally? For all you listeners who don't know what the Grandma Sally is, you need to go on TikTok and look that bad boy
Grandma
up.
Sally, narrated
Mentos.
by it's Frank Caliendo, but
Yeah.
but he's in the
Doing the, Morgan
style of Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
This is Grandma Sally. All right, let's. Well, it definitely pours slower than the other
Well,
ones.
it's got that plastic safety device in there.
I'm so glad that it does.
So, I mean, Bacardi is all about safety. I mean, when you sell it in a large family pack, like family
but
volume
now,
like this,
if you look at
it's got to be about safety.
Look at the difference in the colors.
I don't see color, sir.
Well played, Rooster.
Yeah,
Well played.
contrary to being considered an extremist, I don't see color.
The Bacardi's
Just because
a lot more
you're
green.
red-green colorblind, that does not mean that you cannot see color.
So,
You can see fruit.
yeah, the color is definitely different on this one. So, I'm going to say the Bacardi has got more of a.
It's like a seafoam green.
Well, to me, it's almost like Sierra Mist versus Mountain Dew. If you're
Yeah,
comparing it to
Sierra
like
Mist
so's the
clear.
color. So, Bacardi would be more in that Sierra Mist where it's a little clearer, and then the Mountain Dew where it's a little bit.
I'm not even talking about the clarity. I'm talking about the actual color. It looks like the coloring on the Bacardi is much more green than the coloring on the
No.
the
Yeah, because the other
cocktail.
one's a lot more of that
The
bright
Licks.
yellow. That licks. Yeah, the Licks cocktails is a lot more yellow.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's
But we got to start with the
Let's
Licks.
start with their licks. Let's get our cluckage clinkage going on.
Get morals over there. Alrighty.
Then Taparoo. Let's take a sip. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's
For a
much.
mojito, it's smooth.
Yeah,
it's much better than those mixers. that
It's
we
honestly,
have.
I was at a restaurant. I won't name the restaurant because we don't like talking about specific businesses. But it was a higher end Tex-Mex style place, and this is better than mojitos that they make.
Oh,
And this is straight out of the bottle. So
that's good.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let me get the timer ready for us here, and we will jump into topic number 1. Numero uno. You want to start this? You want me to? No, you know what? I'll start it.
Yeah, you go ahead, man.
I'll start it. And timer has started. So what's the difference between California and the Titanic?
I don't know, Madman. What's the difference?
Yellow card at the ready.
What's
you
that
heard-
ready? She hasn't called you. Go ahead, tell a joke.
What's the difference between California and the Titanic?
I don't know. Go.
Titanic had its lights on whenever it sank.
Wow.
And Titanic wasn't experiencing some rolling blackouts, I guess.
Hey, actually, they
Yeah.
kind of did.
The other difference is Titanic didn't see it coming.
Wow.
With California, so they have extreme heat going on. Well, their version of extreme heat.
Yeah.
They have an extreme drought. Lake Mead keeps going way
Correct.
down.
It's lowest it's ever been.
The complete mismanagement of land management and from the Parks and Wildlife.
And that's been going on for
Department.
years with those wildfires.
Yeah. The homelessness has gone through the roof.
Yeah.
They're having electric grid issues now.
I wouldn't say homelessness goes through the roof, though, because that's kind of indicative of no roof over
their head. Yeah.
Through the tent top.
If they're lucky.
So the electric grid is having issues now. So the top official that's responsible in their energy sector came out and was telling people to set their thermostat to 80 degrees and to not charge their electric vehicles.
Well, that makes sense because, they banned the sale of all future gas vehicles in the coming years, as well as last year they banned all small engine, 2-cycle engine, 4-cycle, all the little small engines. So, people who have like lawn care services, you can only get an electric lawnmower and stuff like that now. So this totally makes sense. Don't charge a car. We're going to have power problems, heat problems, all this other stuff.
And, and the economy has been mismanaged there for years.
Well, let's not also forget that they've got a shrinking population.
Yeah, because
the homeless population is growing, but
people are moving
population
out.
is moving out of the state.
Yeah. And with that, because it goes into both topics, they were actually trying to offer incentives to not move to the states like Florida or Texas. But for the purpose of this conversation, we'll say Florida.
Yeah.
So now, do you know what's going on?
Well, I did read that with all the problems they have, they've got a new problem that seems to be coming up from Mexico. It has nothing to do with immigration. But it's coming at them. So they have got a Hurricane K, which seems to be in one of the tracks, seems to be bringing it to either San Diego or L.A.
Or L.A. Depends on if it goes in down there by the Bajas or if it
given how well they're managing everything else, I'm sure Los Angeles County can handle a category anything hurricane coming through there.
Yeah. Well, that is just priceless. That that there's got to be some like silver lining. Something good has to come out of it.
And I try to do everything on a positive. So since we're looking for a silver lining, we talked about the homeless problem, and when the homeless problem in California, they have a lot of feces on the ground because they just defecate right there on the sidewalk.
Oh yeah. So maybe we need a good flood.
A good hurricane could clean those sidewalks for them and wash that filth away.
Watch it somewhere.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, the sad part about it is they got this high homeless population, and they don't do homeless shelters. So they're just living on streets and Skid Row. Skid Row's there for a reason, and so these folks are going to be
hurting.
They're going to be riding it out.
But now let's flip over to the other coast.
Ah, yes, it's arch nemesis.
It's arch nemesis, Florida. Hurricane Earl.
Yeah, Hurricane Earl. So Hurricane Earl, is also out there in the Atlantic, and it's I think at a Category 3 right now.
Yeah, aren't they expecting?
So
like 100
we've got Kay and Earl, and they're ready to
just
split the country. And all I got to say about that is, anytime a couple named Earl and Kay split, someone's losing a trailer.
Yellow card.
Roll over, Daddy! You're crushing my cigarettes.
Red card. Oh, I knew this was going to go south quickly. See what I did there?
I saw what you did there. Yeah. It was So
but I wonder, because we know how people ride hurricanes out in the South.
Yeah.
How do they ride them out in California? Do they still get the Pop-Tarts and the 12-pack of Diet Right?
They sit out there, like cranking up, some like tunes and watching it come in and timer just went off.
Flooding's gonna be really good for all those electric vehicles.
Clucking insane. So what do you think about the Licks cocktail?
It's licking good.
It's looking pretty good. Yeah. I love the way that I love the way that whenever I put the cocktail up to my mouth, that it's so smooth and I can
smooth all the way down the back of my throat.
I can taste it all the way across my tongue and into the back of my throat.
I see what you're doing.
It's
now be careful,
so good,
because too much of Lick's cocktails will let you feel like shame in the morning.
Wow.
Or as
that's why
they call it, locked and loaded, DJ Shane.
I'm sorry, Overlord.
But I have not even said one Overlord joke this week.
That's true.
Yeah, me neither. Oh wait, I just Don't worry, Overlord. I am gonna save you this fishnet stocking thing that's around the Bacardi for you.
Yeah, you can put that over somebody's ankle in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Maybe a calf.
Maybe.
Maybe.
No.
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 Maybe a forearm.
Anyways. Maybe we'll just throw it away.
You know what? We're just gonna take care. We'll just put that.
It's like
in
throwing an E on the end of Joe Dirt. You know, it doesn't really.
Don't spruce it up,
doesn't really
dear.
spruce it up that much.
Don't spruce it up, dear. Too.
All right, so far I like it. It's like I said, it's better than some of the mojitos I've had actually at a restaurant. So
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised about that.
so I wasn't expecting. So that's a nice pleasant.
That's some
surprise.
good stuff there.
All right, so you ready to get to the
Yeah, let's get to topic number 2.
topic number 2? You want to take a drink of the other one first?
Yes, we're going to take a drink of it
I
first.
just want to make sure
That is the rules.
rules.
We came up with the rules together.
Oh yeah, whatever.
We're taking another drink of the licks.
Nope.
No, we're on to the Bacardi.
This is the Bacardi. All right.
Oh, because because I've got a different glass. I was confused.
It's different, but I can't figure out how it's different.
This is way more mellow.
This is more like a mojito.
Yeah. This is really toned down on the citrus. The other one's a lot higher in the citrus.
I don't know. I can't say that because mine tastes really citrusy, but it might be because of my lime.
I can actually tell this one's got rum in it, where the other one is just like
I don't know. I'm up.
good.
I'm up in the air on this.
This is going to be a tough one to decide. I'm just going to say that right up front. This is going to be a tough one.
And I think it's going to depend on the go backs.
Yeah, it will.
And
All right.
and with that being said, from what I can taste right now, neither one of them are bad.
No, you can't go wrong with either one of these things. So there's no loser at this point.
So, all right, let's jump into topic number 2.
Topic number 2, and I promise to use my inside voice on this one because
About to say,
yeah, when we were going over our notes, I apologize, everybody. I got a little animated.
so if I start the timer, are you going to use your studio voice?
I'm going to use my studio voice.
Do you promise?
Yes.
Do I need to start it for you, Rooster?
No, we're good. Go ahead.
Timer started.
Rooster's ready.
Hi.
Go.
All right, let's just put this plane right nose down.
We're just going to nose it straight in the ground.
President Biden, tyrant in chief,
46.
This is about a speech that he gave last Thursday when we were recording, so we didn't have a chance to cover it. So he gave what best can be described as a fiery speech to the nation. I've never once seen a president of the United States do a address to the union of any sort with a Marine on each side of him.
And they were in ceremonial
Yeah, they were doing their
too.
ceremonial thing. But
Now, the
whole
thing is about that ceremonial rest, whenever their hands are in front, they're supposed to be clutching a weapon.
Yeah.
So that's really kind of...
Yeah, that threw me off.
That's kind of
I spent 6 years in the
It's just
military, and
odd.
I'd never seen that particular style of rest before. But then again, I've never been a White House guard. Anyways, so where I was going with this, he had this fire speech, and the whole thing was just dark. Not just the speech, but the actual background. And then he had this big red tinted hue that go against him, which just amplified the anger that was getting ready to start coming out of his mouth. And it did. The anger just flowed from his mouth. Now, I've heard a lot of people on the far right saying that it was just like a Hitler speech. It wasn't as angry. He was never doing the ass Juden or anything like that, where he's just like screaming in the microphone. But it was a very angry speech.
Well, I think that one of the reasons that some of the people on the right were saying that, and it's something that you like if you take any type of advanced communication classes that they do teach you, and that is called like the dictator style speech, and it's where that you start at one level and then you keep elevating your voice and speaking faster and getting more angry, and then whenever you reach that pinnacle of where that you're angry and you're shaking your fist, you stop and then you bring it all back down to zero, because what happens is that it creates that vacuum where it sucks more people into buying what you're saying.
Yeah. So the drawback of this speech...
So I think that's what they meant by it was like.
But the drawback to this speech is there was nothing unifying about this speech. This speech clearly drew a line in the sand that you either vote Democrat or if you vote Republican, you must be a Republican who does what the Democrats want, or you're a violent extremist in this country. So anyone who is a MAGA supporter is now a violent extremist. And he said, with a Marine on each side of him, that he will use everything in his power to stop this type of movement and to stop these people.
I must have missed that part. Did he say specifically MAGA, or did he say people that were Republicans?
He said MAGA Republican supporters.
Okay.
So if you vote Donald Trump or you support Donald Trump, you're a violent extremist. The problem with this is...
So if you're a Republican that doesn't support Trump, are you still a violent extremist?
No, as long as you are willing to work with him and do what he wants, you will not be a violent extremist.
Gotcha. So I'm still a violent extremist.
Yeah,
then.
so everybody...
Okay.
The sad part is that's 40%, if not more, of all adults who can vote in this country have now been labeled violent extremists.
Well, remember, he
guy.
also came out and said that there was nothing special about being an American. There's nothing special about being defined as an American.
Yeah.
So that came from the retirement.
Yeah. So, I mean,
commander-in-chief.
and the really, really sad thing is, I hate to say it because it's a president. I never want to really say we have a president who does these things. But that far right who said that it was like a Hitler speech, in the yelling, it wasn't there. He didn't have big crowds behind him because they never showed us the crowd, how big it was.
No, but in the divisiveness.
Yeah, but the divisiveness was there. And honestly, if you had replaced MAGA supporter for the word Jew or gypsy, it would have fit one of Hitler's speeches. If you've ever looked at any of the historical speeches that Hitler did, watching any of the History Channel or any of that stuff.
But
because that was how that guy did it. He riled up the masses by telling them these things are not their fault. It's this one group of people's fault that they are not
you also
great.
have, like, all through, like, 2020, whenever they're doing the riots, but they were mostly peaceful, as things were burning and people were getting shot and all that. But if you remember, and it was before 2020, how there was that, I guess you can call her a comedian. I never really thought she was that funny, but there was a Kathy Griffith where that she held up I can't remember if it was
had a
just
severed
photo.
head of Donald Trump that was all bloody.
And I can't remember if that was like on a magazine cover, if it was just on her Twitter feed or whatever it was.
It was on TV.
But, it was on TV. But,
yes, because Barron Trump was watching TV when it happened.
Yeah, so she can do that. But, timer just went off. I'm going to finish my thought.
Yeah, finish the thought.
She can do that, and it will somehow be okay because she's a part of the party of love and understanding.
Peace and tolerance.
And then she just tweeted.
change.
She literally just tweeted that if you want a civil war, or if you don't want a civil war, vote Democrat. If you do want a civil war, vote Republican. And it's just like, okay, you can't call
and
47% of the American population extremists and then be able to support statements like that unless you just want to divide.
And that's
the
the
people,
saddest
period.
part about his speech is he's not unifying anybody. Instead of giving a speech about unifying, he wants and clearly gave the message that we need to clearly draw the line in the sand of who's the enemy and who's not the enemy. And he considers himself not the enemy, and the rest of us are the enemy if we don't think the way he does, if we don't vote for him. And that's the message his followers take away. As much as those people talk bad about Trump and the things that he says to incite people to get them all riled up, the Democrats have done exactly the thing they claim Trump has been doing.
Yeah. But the thing is that, we talk bad about everybody.
Yeah.
If it's dumb, we talk bad about it.
But two rights don't make a wrong.
But the thing is that, you and I are much more independent. We're much more.
Yeah. I don't think there's a politician out there that's not corrupt.
Yeah. Well, there are some that are not corrupt.
Yeah, they're broke too.
Or they're dead.
Yeah, or they're dead.
They didn't get reelected.
They get reelected. Or they ended up on a certain Clinton body count page.
All right, what do you think about this Bacardi?
You know what? I like it. Again, you can't go wrong with either one of these, but they're very different.
They are very different.
One honestly tastes more like a mojito that you would order at a bar.
One tastes more homemade.
Yeah. So one, like this, like for me, the Licks is much more citrus heavy, where the Bacardi seems to be way more on the mint and the rum.
Yeah, I I like them both. It's going to come down to how they go back. What do you think about over their morals with your American Honky Tonk Bar Association degrees and Greek and Ethiopian and?
I don't think we did Ethiopian.
I don't know.
Could be.
Maybe she got fermented. Hey, she might have brought fermented yak milk one time. I don't know.
International House of Beers.
House of Beers.
Anyway,
okay, that's
she
a cool.
did say beers.
That's a cool bar name.
Beers.
I'm calling dibs on it.
Yeah. Copyrighted by
so Bacardi,
Whiskey and Wine from the Madman.
And once again, it's, as far as choosing one, it's going to be a matter of the go backs and such. But the Bacardi one definitely is more true to Mojito.
Yes.
You know what? One of the things I like about this, it don't interfere with my snuff. Because I use
what kind of stuff you got there?
Copenhagen mint. And since this got mint in it, I can dip my Copenhagen.
Copenhagen, huh?
Yeah.
Copenhagen
makes me feel so good. What? How did I know you were going to break into that?
Well, I might own a Crystal Dew box set. Back when they sold box sets.
I'm pretty sure you and I hang out.
I'm old.
I'm pretty sure you and I hang out too much because I knew that's exactly where you were going.
Who doesn't
with
love
that.
Crystal Dew, man?
Yeah.
You know who doesn't love Crystal Dew? Communists.
That's because Crystal Dew was just tougher than the rest.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
See what I did there?
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, I'll tell you what.
pretty cool hat too.
Yeah. You don't take it though.
Yeah, you
don't take that Cowboys hat.
Now it's time for
because you will ride a dark tornado.
So let's do our go backs.
Yes.
Let's do the Bacardi to the licks.
Bacardi to the licks. Bacardi to the licks.
Bacardi to the licks. Bacardi to the licks.
You never go Bacardi to the licks.
Lick.
Never go Bacardi to the licks.
We're about to find out.
Okay.
All right.
Still good.
Oh, does not go back well.
It does not go back well.
Does not go back well.
It makes it taste like sugar water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it taste real. Okay. Woo.
Yeah, it was almost medicinal when you get that second kick in there. So. All right. So we did our go back. So.
Oh, you know what? It's time for our favorite segment. The Big FUs.
Stands for follow-up.
Does it?
It does not stand for follow-up.
Well, the first thing's not a follow-up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the first thing's not. You know what? I'll go ahead and start the timer. Go.
Yeah, so the first thing, so sadly, Queen Elizabeth has died over there in England. And so they have a new king. We don't have a new king. They have a new king. Yeah. King Charles III.
And so many people don't realize that, especially with Queen Elizabeth II, she's been the longest reigning monarch.
Yeah, she beat Queen Victoria out.
Yeah, I want to say in the history of England.
Which was her great-grandmother.
Thank you for the history lesson.
And, in this, I mean, there's always going to be people that are unfavorable in whatever it is if you're in a public office. So that being said, she was also very well loved. She was very well respected. And even though that, she was 96, Prince Philip, her husband, died last year. It's one of those things where even though that it's expected whenever somebody's that old, it's still hard on the family and it's hard on the entire country because they're so devoted to the monarchy.
Oh yeah, that country's going to be going to be pretty sad.
Yeah, they're going to be mourning her for a while.
She was obviously, her father was King George the Sixth.
Yeah, and he was the king during World War II.
Yeah, so and then of course King Charles, who's the new king, he was the longest running heir to not have the throne. Yeah, and now he's got it because he's elderly too, so he won't have the throne very long to begin with, and it'll go to and
whenever I say if at all, yes, he is the king, but there's been talk because he's also elderly about getting affairs.
Yeah, he may advocate it
about getting the affairs of the state in order, and then advocating it down to Prince William.
We'll find out.
Yeah, but to all of the people that listen to us in England, even though that we don't fully grasp all of it because we're not a part of that culture, that our thoughts and our hearts and our prayers are with you.
Yeah. So moving on, we've got another update. So the Trump raid on Mar-a-Lago.
Oh yeah.
So
did they find all the did they find all the private servers and the smashed phones and stuff like that?
Oh, the bleach server and all the smashed phones. No, that was actually Clinton's basement. But yeah, I see the confusion. But no, this one. So there was leaked photos of all the classified documents, the folders showing all the classified documents that Trump had, which is why they went out there and did it. Unfortunately, what's coming out in court now is that all of those folders were empty. They were just folders that said classified or had the disc of classified.
Are you kidding
There were no
me?
actual
I
documents.
didn't see that.
Yes,
That
it's
is-
coming out. There was actually no documents. It's weird because, who leaked the photos, and now we're finding out that they were there, as well as what we're finding out in court, too, is that the FBI may have overextended its reach under the guidance of the actual warrant.
By going through the first lady.
Yeah, so
former
they went through the
lady's
first lady's underwear
and
drawer,
closet
her
and-
jewelry, the closet.
Didn't they go through his son's room
They
too?
even tossed Barron Trump's room, the teenager, because he's 16 now. But so they went through the kids' room, they went through everything. And what's coming out now is, unless something drastically changes, right now it's looking like they don't have anything other than empty folders. Now, again, nobody's going to show all their hands. So what I'd like to see is either the government give us everything, or I'd like to see both. I'd like to see Trump, because that place has got to have surveillance coming out the wazoo.
Yeah.
I would like to see him
Especially
release.
because the Secret Service. And
Yeah,
stuff
but
like
it was
that.
already a big resort. He probably had cameras everywhere. Anyways, I would like to see the surveillance footage. If he's saying they did all the things that were wrong, and they're saying he did all these things that were wrong, there's clearly going to be video evidence to support one of their stories. Let's just see it. But right now,
You're asking for
right now
facts.
it's looking like Trump's lawyers might have the upper hand in the court case, which isn't going to go well for midterms if it comes out that this whole thing was
it's
a
really
farce.
not.
Because last thing also that came out is it does look like Joe Biden might not have told the truth, and he has known about the raid and actually gave the okay for it back in May.
Well, I started to say something about that before the timer went off whenever you were talking about
Yeah.
Biden's speech, because he's been guilty of plagiarizing multiple times.
Well, he said that he had nothing to do with it, and it turns out the judge is like, no, it has his fingerprints all over it. So Biden is absolutely behind or in the know of this, so he was not telling the truth.
Speaking of in the know, it's time for one of our favorite big follow-ups.
Huh?
Where in the world is Kamala Harris? I don't know.
I got no clue, man. I searched and
I searched her Twitter. I searched.
apparently the White House, like that plug they have into Facebook now, has a plug into Google to kill that search. So,
Although that's funny that if you just type in where, like where in.
on Yahoo, because that's usually the search engine I use is Yahoo, and it's the very first thing that comes up.
Yeah.
Where in, and then it automatically goes Kamala Harris today.
Yeah. I just find it really funny that, you
Nobody
couldn't
knows.
even pull up her public events calendar.
So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to be the beacon of hope and positivity and say that maybe she's doing vice president stuff.
They might also be planning travel for the death of the Queen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we should have still been able to see that on the calendar.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of insulting to send the vice president to the Queen's funeral. That's something the president should go to,
Agreed.
especially when it's the worst vice president in U.S. history. But we could send the worst president in U.S. history.
About to say, according to all the approval numbers.
Yeah, no. And that goes back to that speech thing earlier is, your approval ratings and your disapproval are not high enough for you to create this type of, to continue to choose this type of divisiveness and then say you're trying to bring the country together.
There was a filing with the FEC, and they said that he was going to. Oh, timer just went off. Okay, so let's do this.
Oh, wait. Before I know the timer's off, but I did have one other thing I want to talk about. So we all remember the Afghanistan pullout, the disaster that happened with that one. Those 12 Marines that were killed on that one day with an explosion.
I think I shared that article with you.
Yeah, so sadly, I didn't release the names of it, but the brother of one of the Marines that was killed on that disaster pullout at the airport on the 1 year anniversary committed suicide in front of everyone.
Yeah, at the actual service.
Yeah.
So that being said, whether you're service or you've not been in service, if you're having any of those thoughts, please, 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 you mean the world to somebody. Reach out, make a phone call, find somebody to talk. Don't hurt those around you because you can't take that step and voice your feelings and voice your emotions.
To me, I mean, it hammers home. There's so many people on the left felt like the pullout in Afghanistan was just no big deal. Who really cared? Let's get out of there, kind of thing. Well, no, it does matter. There were thousands and thousands of people who served. There were people who died. There were people who lost limbs. And it was a great travesty.
I don't know if you remember
and I don't think anybody, if I had my way, no one would ever forget how badly Biden screwed that up.
I don't know if you remember, but last August, you and I were on the phone almost every day.
Yeah.
And some of those days I was crying because it's
a travesty.
Mad. I was mad.
It's a travesty. So. It's indicative of we have a commander in chief who has never had the cojones to wear the uniform. And I'll say it again. I don't care if he is the president. He's never had the cojones to put that uniform on and put himself in harm's way.
No,
but he has no problem taking advantage of those who do.
You know what he did do, though? He stood up to Corn Pop.
Corn Pop's not even real. Let's be honest
Corn
about
Pop's
this.
Corn Pop's a bad dude.
Corn Pop is not a bad dude.
Did you see
Corn Pop would have beat his ever-loving butt.
Did you see that they made a movie called My Son Hunter?
Yeah, I might have to buy it.
I'm going to have to buy that.
I might have to buy it.
For those of you that are curious about it, go to mysonhunter.com. Yeah. All right, let's do these go backs.
Yeah.
So we're going to Sir Licks-a-Lot cocktails. It's not bad by itself.
No, but I'm liking it less and less. All right, I know which one I'm going with.
All right, well then.
Bacardi. I hate to say Bacardi because they put it in this chintzy glass bottle with a spout, but
plastic.
Or plastic, yeah. I would rather have a nice glass bottle, what Bacardi's known for, but no, I'm gonna have to go Bacardi on this one.
Morals?
It's what a mojito should taste like.
Same. I think that the Licks-a-Lot, as you guys have been calling it,
Sir Licks-a-Lot,
Sir Licks-a-Lot,
is very almost like a martini, more so than your traditional over ice mojito. The Bacardi is full on mojito. I have to go Bacardi.
Yeah. Madman.
Well, I will be the cantankerous one.
All right.
And I'm
going
to tap the Licks-a-Lot's cocktails.
He's going to tap that glass.
You tap it on the head and let you know it's good to go.
I'm going to tap this glass. I'm going to rub the head on it a little bit. And then I'm still going to go to Bacardi.
Well played.
I mean, but the truth is,
neither one of them are bad.
Neither one of them are bad, but Bacardi's just better.
You know what I'd be willing to bet, though, is that if we took like some of that Sonic Ice or something like that and put it in a blender, I'd be willing to bet that this one would probably mix better than something like that. Like the cocktail. I think that if you made it into almost like a frozen margarita style,
like
mojito,
a limeade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that if you made it more like a limeade, or I bet if you even like mixed it with Sprite, it would probably be better.
So this is to me kind of like, so if you've had a good margarita and then you've had, say, at any restaurant, a winerita where they have like the frozen machine of margaritas, and it doesn't really have tequila in it, but it's still a decent drink. It's still tasty. That's what Licks is to me.
That's a good comparison.
Where if they actually hand mixed it and did it right, that's where the Bacardi comes in. I mean, you wouldn't be unhappy either way unless you're just a diehard mojito fan.
Yeah. I
don't know anybody who's a diehard mojito fan, other than people just like to say mojito.
Mojito.
I think like a lot of our taste tests lately, comparisons lately, there's, to y'all's point, there's no true winner or loser, but for the intent of the comparison, the Bacardi is the better mojito.
Yeah, I mean, if we were just drinking mojitos and you just brought in the licks, we'd have had a good time and it'd have been great.
I can promise y'all that the next time that it's my turn, I am going to go old school like in the first few episodes, and I'm going to find something that's so bottom end they have to go dig it out of the back.
We do have that new...
What's the worst garbage you have in this store that you won't even put on that bottom shelf in the right corner?
Correct. I want one of those.
I want that bad boy.
We use that for like...
We got this stuff we use for cleaning the toilets. And
we got this stuff that we use to burn the mules warts off and to take, the veneer off the canoe out back. Yeah, give me that. In fact, give me 3 of them.
Yeah, I got a vodka. We'll have to try one of these days. And I found it because it's in a giant beaker looking bottle, and it's got a big radiation symbol on it.
Well, that's gonna be...
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try that.
Chernobyl vodka.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that one. It's called Chernobyl or something.
It bubbles on its own.
Look, it glows.
That's even without the black light.
Yeah. So
I guess I should use the black light for the cocktail.
I keep wanting to try the Crystal Head Skull vodka, but it's that price point always keeps me off of that one. So maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
But then again, I'd like to try the Blue Label whiskey too. But we're gonna need a liquor store to donate that. If any liquor stores are listening,
we'll give you some props.
And we'll give you lots of props on that one. Just donate that $400 bottle of whiskey.
All right, Cluckheads. Thanks for tuning in to episode 61.
Sorry,
neither one of the Mojitos.
One more
My
thing.
God, boy.
I know. I'm just so forgetful. Just September 18th, save the date, DFW Ride for Kids. We're doing the annual ride. We're going to have a Jeep Club out there. We got the bikers out there. DFW Indian out off of 820.
1 week.
Yep, 1 week away.
And it's guaranteed not to leave you prickly on the insides.
Yeah, so come on and see us. We're going to have a good time.
All right. So
now take us out.
Is it okay if I take us out now?
I think we're okay now.
Did you forget anything
Morals,
else?
Are we good to take us out?
I think we're good.
All right, I think we're good.
I swear I'm going to throw something if I start to take us out and one of y'all interrupt.
Maybe a $20 bill you could throw. That'd be awesome.
Excellent. Well, thanks for tuning in, Cluckheads, episode 61 of Whiskey and Wine with Rooster and the Madman.
Inflation's been hurtful.
And the morals and inflation. And remember, in a world full of chickens,
be a rooster.
You're listening to Whiskey and Wine. Thanks for tuning in to Whiskey and Wine with the Rooster and the Madman, where you can catch brand new episodes every Saturday at 4 p.m. on Deep Dallas Radio on Locked and Loaded with DJ Shane Guns.
Special thanks to our sponsor, GiftedChicken.com, home to all your beard, bath, and body care needs. Veteran owner operator right here in North Texas. Remember to pick up a bottle of Overlord's Dungeon Oil. It's 100% all natural coconut oil.
Leaves you prickly on the inside.